Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's get into it. Hey, smash the like button real quick before you forget and get distracted and scroll elsewhere at the end of the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. Now, we've talked a number of times about Sheryl Swoopes on this channel, someone who's never had a good word to say about Caitlin Clark, who no longer does Dallas Wings game because of her unprofessional display when something about Caitlin Clark was mentioned that game, and on and on. And you know the drill if you've been here a while, all her lies about Caitlin's college career. So I only thought it was both fair, also, just to change the pace to focus on something positive. We'll see how many views this video gets. Cynthia Cooper. For those of you who don't know Cynthia Cooper, she is the, if I may use an overused phrase now, the OG. Okay. 1997 WNBA's first season MVP. MVP the next year as well. And one other thing I'd like you to keep in mind is because the WNBA did not start until 97, Cynthia Cooper was 34 years old her rookie season. She played 4 seasons, won titles in all of them, was all first team WNBA for all of them, was top 5 MVP voting for all of them, won MVP her first 2 seasons. She, carried Sheryl Swoopes to those titles. Then she coached for 2 years, came back and played 4 games for Houston, I guess maybe to, I don't know, retire there. I don't really remember why she came back to play 4 games at age 40. Maybe it was to play at age 40. But anyway, yeah, she's the OG. If we want to get into that and give props to going back, um, yeah. So anyway, she was asked to describe Caitlin Clark in one word. Well, let's take a listen to this. It's only about 40 seconds long.
Come on now.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast. She is the truth. And I mean, she's the truth, and she was a rookie. Right?
Yeah.
Knock down the 3-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she look like she's coming off for a 3-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is a complete basketball player. And you know what I want?
Awesome. Shout out Cynthia Cooper. And I'd also like to point out a couple of other times where I've heard her, not just because she's being positive about Caitlin Clark here, but she loves the game. She's passionate about the game. She's intelligent about the game. And I wish, and maybe she doesn't want to. I don't know. But if she does, I wish we'd get her out there more. Right. One thing you don't hear from her at all, right? Because this is an actual pioneer. This is someone who was there for the first season. This is someone who went through it. No jealousy, no hatred in her discussion about the players today, because look, all leagues progress, right? Look at what NBA players get now. It's insane. You've got mid players making more in a couple of seasons than Jordan made his entire career, which wasn't all that long ago. Okay. So that type of stuff happens all of the time. So please, can we get Cynthia Cooper out there? And she broke it down very quickly, by the way, as to what Caitlin does and mentioned some things that we never hear. How difficult is it to hear things like this from those who cover the WNBA now? And I'm not saying, you know, what's the word that I think is a little creepy, but they talk about glazing, right? No, that's not necessary. But tell the truth, be honest, be objective, and that also means when she's not playing well, you can talk about those things as well. We've gotten into this weird thing in the WNBA where being praiseworthy of some player, if it's Caitlin Clark, is glazing them. It's ridiculous, but being critical of other players is hate. And it's absolute nonsense. So anyway, I had to shout out Cynthia Cooper. I wanted to play this for you because we need more of this. We need more Cynthia Coopers in WNBA sports coverage and media. You know, fewer Monica McNutts, fewer Elle Duncans, fewer Shanays, I know. You know, and a lot more Cynthia Coopers, and which to that point, I'll bring up one who has been outspoken and who is involved a lot more often. So I might as well shout her out as well at the same time, and that is Rebecca Lobo being asked about the Indiana Fever and their chances this year. So let's dig into this a little bit.
What are your expectations, RL?
Well, after the moves that Indiana made in free agency, I think this is a team that's a championship contender. They brought back their big three from a year ago. Of course, Caitlin Clark had a monster year, Aaliyah Boston as well, Kelsey Mitchell, and then all of the pieces that they added in free agency. Tawana Bonner was a huge pickup for this team, Natasha Howard as well. Both of those players give them flexibility in terms of the lineups they can use. Sophie Cunningham was a great addition for the Indiana Fever as well. They have a much more favorable early schedule than they did a year ago, but I think they are up in the conversation with championship contenders along with the New York Liberty, the Las Vegas Aces, and the Minnesota Lynx.
I know it's a small sample size, but their defense, at least in the preseason, looks a lot better than a year ago when they were second worst in scoring. That, of course, is going to be the 3 o'clock game of our doubleheader. That first.
So there you go, Rebecca Lobo, championship contender. Remember, who was can't think of her first name now. I want to say is it Mariah? So Mariah Rose, Galen Rose's Nepo daughter, who wanted to define contender as the one team that she believes is going to win, right? As opposed to, you know, contenders where these are teams that have a good chance of winning. Always redefining words, right? We've redefined generational, we've redefined hate, and on and on and on. So shout out Rebecca Lobo, who's been in it all along, right? Was always honest in her assessment of Caitlin Clark, which is why so often when Rebecca Lobo would tweet anything out about Caitlin, she would have to lock replies because of the absolute insane, hello WNBA, are you listening to me? The insane hatred that she would get. So but yeah, anyway, real quick, just so if you didn't see it, right? 97, she was 34 when she appeared because that was the WNBA's first year. MVP those first 2 seasons, titles all 4 years. She was it. Cynthia Cooper was the real deal. So I just wanted to shout them out, really, give you something, you know, that's actually positive in the WNBA sports media space. So hopefully we get a lot more of this. Maybe you get some people like, hey, you know what? Rebecca did it. Cynthia did it. It maybe it's safe. Maybe I'll test the waters and be honest, be objective in my assessment of Caitlin Clark. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I think Cynthia Cooper deserved a shout out. So here we go. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate all of your support and help. And I will talk to you later.